big update. The Supreme Court has just begun hearing on the Shinde Sena's plea. There are two petitions that have been filed extensively challenging all the moves made by Uddhav Thackeray and camp. One is of the disqualification proceedings initiated by the Deputy Speaker. On the other is the Deputy Speaker striking down a no-confidence motion against him, and of course also on the Chief Whip appointed by the Uddhav Thackeray camp, Ajay Chaudhary, despite them not having the numbers. Another application in the latest that's been filed is also to up the security of the rebel family members, rebel MLAs family members. At this point, the Supreme Court has just begun hearing the Shinde Sena's pleas. Two of those pleas that will be taken up in court. Here, Gaurav Sawant with me on that. Gaurav, both these pleas that the court will be hearing, in fact, we're looking at top legal eagles who will be facing off. We have Harish Salve for the Shinde camp. On the other hand, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Congress leader and senior lawyer for the Uddhav camp, who will be facing off on multiple points on the sanctity of the Constitution and under the constitutional provisions, if at all, disqualification process can be initiated by the Deputy Speaker. And remember, all this comes when the Deputy Speaker has issued a deadline of 5:30 p.m. today, this evening, for those MLAs to return, if not face disqualification.
In fact, Neeraj Kishan Kaul is appearing for Eknath Shinde camp right now. So this case is currently underway in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has asked the Shinde Sena why haven't they approached the High Court first. And this is becoming very, very interesting as they hear the case. Neeraj Kishan Kaul appearing for the petitioners as in Eknath Shinde camp. He's saying that as of now, ये मामला इतना गंभीर है, this matter is so grave that they have decided to come to Supreme Court immediately, and in case the governor wants and in case the speaker wants, there can be a floor test immediately. Big story we are breaking first here on India Today. You get the latest developments here on India Today. Neeraj Kishan Kaul is appearing for the petitioners Eknath Shinde camp, and when the Supreme Court asked why haven't you approached the High Court, they said that we have come to you straight away because this is extremely serious. Should there be a requirement, let there be a floor test immediately. Also giving precedent of why the actions of the Deputy Speaker are bad in law. Remember, the Deputy Speaker has issued notice for disqualification of 16 MLAs at a time when no confidence plea was moved against the Deputy Speaker by 2 independent MLAs, and past precedent is being cited where Advocate Kaul is saying disqualification proceedings initiated even though resolution to remove Deputy Speaker is pending. The Supreme Court in the Nebam Rebia case had passed a very clear order. The Speaker is trying to subvert the Assembly by disqualifying. Major point being made by the lawyer here, saying that the Speaker is trying to subvert the Assembly by disqualifying these 16 MLAs, Nabila.
Right, a quick word. Let's cut across to Nalini, who has been tracking the court right there. Nalini, as the hearing has just begun, give us an understanding on the Supreme Court asking the Shinde Sena, why didn't they move the High Court first? Have they responded?
Well, yes, Nabila, the hearing is underway before a bench headed by Justice Suryakant and also comprising of Justice J.B. Pardiwala. And as expected, the first question that has been posed by the bench to the lawyers, specifically Senior Advocate Neeraj Kishan Kaul, who is appearing for the Eknath Shinde camp, is the fact that as to why they have not approached the Bombay High Court and why have they come to the Supreme Court directly in an Article 32 petition. What Neeraj Kishan Kaul, as a justification for that, has said is that this is a very serious matter, including the fact that in matters regarding governor's orders or floor tests, they have the right to file an Article 32 petition in accordance with the previous precedents of the Supreme Court, and that is precisely why they've approached the Supreme Court directly. There is also a fresh application that has been filed that is alleging there is a threat to the family members of the MLA and that they should be provided protection because the Mahavikas Aghadi has lost control of the law and order situation before the Supreme Court. It seems like due to some last-minute scramble, Senior Advocate Harish Salve has not been able to join the hearing and most likely will not be making arguments, which is surprising because he was briefed on the matter. But due to some last-minute changes, it seems like Neeraj Kishan Kaul will be the one who will be leading the arguments on behalf of the Shinde camp before the Supreme Court. And what he is stating right now is that he is referring to the earlier matter regarding Arunachal Pradesh and saying that in the Arunachal Pradesh matter, the Supreme Court clearly said that the Speaker could misuse the time period that is mentioned to disqualify inconvenience lenient members. Their basic point is that until and unless the Speaker decides on the no confidence motion, which is in challenge now before the Supreme Court, any disqualification proceedings under the 10th schedule should not be held, and if disqualification proceedings are still conducted through the issuance of notice that the Deputy Speaker has done, then that is illegal and should not be allowed. It is on that basis that they are asking for a stay on the disqualification notice, and they are making the arguments for the same right now. Like I told you, Neeraj Kishan Kaul, who is a senior advocate as well as a former additional Solicitor General before the Supreme Court, is currently making arguments before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court bench has just asked him what was the date on which this notice was issued, and Kaul has said that the notice was issued on the 21st of June and the disqualification notice was issued to them on the 25th of June. So first they're talking about the order of the Speaker regarding the no confidence motion that was moved by them, and they're also talking about the disqualification notice that was issued by the Speaker to all of the rebel MLAs, asking them to appear today at 5:30 p.m. Because the deadline is today at 5:30 p.m. Nabila, is why this entire hearing is going to be so crucial, because in the interim either there is going to be a stay on the notice or there is going to be no stay on the notice. So at least in the interim it's going to go in the favor of one of the two sides today itself. Either the rebel MLAs will have to stick with the deadline that has been put in place by the Deputy Speaker of 5:30 p.m. today and either appear before the Speaker themselves or through legal counsel responding on the disqualification notice. But in case the Supreme Court decides to accept the arguments that are being placed by Neeraj Kishan Kaul and put an interim stay on this disqualification notice, then that means that there will be a slight respite to these rebel MLAs. But there are several issues that are up before the Supreme Court in this matter, and each and every one of them is going to be looked at by the bench, and we'll have to wait and see to the end of the hearing as to what the Supreme Court will decide.
All right, you know, at this point, the question of disqualification is still secondary from what we see here, Nalini. The first point here is that a no confidence motion was moved against the Deputy Speaker. So his position as a Deputy Speaker itself stands in question. Do you believe that the Supreme Court will take that up first to see the sanctity of the no confidence motion which the Deputy Speaker struck down, which Shinde camp calls arbitrary?
Absolutely, Nabila, because that is the very basis on which this entire petition has been filed. All of the challenges that they've made regarding the disqualification notice, even regarding the appointment of the legislative party leader Ajay Chaudhary, they are stating that the Speaker has no powers to do this because his appointment itself is in question. So till the time the no confidence motion is not decided, he cannot go ahead and conduct these other proceedings. So the basic crux of challenge before the Supreme Court is the no confidence motion against the Deputy Speaker that was rejected earlier. And what they are stating is that there was a notice that was issued to these MLAs regarding the appointment of the legislative party leader, but 34 of these MLAs had specifically written to the Speaker and asked him not to act on it. But despite that, the Speaker went ahead and conducted the proceedings, which is why they were forced to now approach the Supreme Court seeking judicial intervention in this entire matter and hoping for the Supreme Court to pass some favorable orders so that some semblance is brought into the chaos that is happening in Maharashtra for the past several days. Neeraj Kishan Kaul has also gone ahead and said that why was the Speaker in an undue hurry regarding this entire issue. The first issue, whether his appointment or not is done, is the issue that is valid, and that issue needs to be decided first before the Speaker can move on to either deciding who the legislative party leader should be or whether or not these MLAs deserve to be disqualified. So the crux of their argument is, of course, regarding the no confidence motion. So if the Supreme Court finds even a little bit of merit in that, even if they think that there is a prima facie case that is made out and this entire matter requires more intervention and a deeper look by the Supreme Court, then it is extremely likely that they might in fact stay the disqualification notice that has been issued and ask the rebels to appear before the Deputy Speaker today at 5:30 p.m. That's going to be a massive relief for these rebel MLAs, because that is exactly what they are hoping for, which is why they filed a petition on multiple grounds.